So trigger.old, right? Trigger.old context variable returns you the list of the records which you're trying to update or which you're trying to delete, and what was their value earlier and what is their value now. There's a difference, right? So earlier, if what was the value when you were trying to update that record, and now what is the value that you have set for this record. So let's say I've got Wonderland as an account, and I'm trying to update that account, and I'm making its name as Alice in Wonderland, right? So in that case, trigger.new will return me the record which has got the updated values. But what if I want to get the previous values? I'm going to go get those previous values with the help of trigger.old. That's what it is, right? So I'm going to get Wonderland in trigger.old, and I'm going to get Alice in Wonderland in new one. So let's do this. Account A old, I'm going to get from trigger.old 0. Then comes account A new, I'm going to get from trigger.new 0. And let's write it down in the debug statement. A old name value plus a old dot name new name value a new dot name, right? That's what it is. Oh, there are 6 messages. Just give me a second, give me a second, give me a second. It's an opportunity here. Let me do this. Let me cut this and let me create it on the trigger May 19 that I created earlier, right? So it's on account, and I'm gonna create it on before update, right? That's what I'm gonna do. Sorry. Every time we enter a new record or update a record, all these steps takes place in the background. Yes, Abhishek. What are roll-up summary fields? Shubhendu, you should not ask this question. I mean, this is a very basic topic. You should go through the admin tutorials. You should go with them to understand what are roll-up summary fields. You can get it on my website. Okay, now let's have a look at this one. I've created this trigger. In this a.old value is there on trigger.old context variable, and trigger.new will return the new values, and I'm going to print it over here like this. So गुस्सा हो गया भैया? First trigger May 19, right? I'm going to edit this one, and I'm going to make it active. It's active. It's already active. So that's what it is. And now let's do one thing. Now let's update the record, right? Wonderland. I'm going to make it as Alice in Wonderland. You sure? So that's the new value. So this new value should go into trigger.new, and the old value should remain into trigger.old. Save. Where is that? Let's go into the debug statement, debug logs. That's where we're gonna see the result. Old name value Wonderland, new name value Alice in Wonderland. You're gonna no. The earlier value is gonna go. Now if you're gonna access So like, let's say now what you're doing is, now you're changing the number of employees, not Alice in Wonderland. So the name is Alice in Wonderland, and now you're updating the number of employees. So earlier the number of employees was 1250. Now you're making it as 15,000. So the name value in old as well as in new will remain the same, Alice in Wonderland. But now if you're trying to change it as Alice in Wonderland, from Alice in Wonderland to Imagica, right? So in the old you'll have Alice in the Wonderland, and in the new you'll have Imagica. That's what it is. Okay, this is done. Just to May 19. So this is how your old context variable works. Now let's go to that program and understand it in depth. No, you cannot. In here, you cannot. I mean, in validation rules and everything, you can. And prior value inside internally uses trigger.old. All right. Okay. So trigger.old. Let's understand this one. So over here, I've created a code which is going to do one thing. Have a look. Have a look. Please pay attention. In this, I am whenever an opportunity gets updated, and if its old value of amount, I mean, if its old value of amount is not equals to the value of the new value of the amount, then in that case we want to show an error. So that means what we want to do is that if the amount's value was 15,000 earlier, it should be 15,000 after updating as well. If it is not 15,000, then in that case there should be an error. So this is a validation that we're trying to create, right? Yes or no? So when we're trying to like when where we can write down the validation in which triggers, after or before? Obviously before, right? You can only write down the validation rules, and you can only update the values in the before triggers, not in the after triggers, right? So here is the before update trigger, and over here what I'm doing is I want to show an error on the amount field. So there is add error method with the help of which you can show the error. There is only one thing that you can show onto the UI with the help of code, and that is error. Listen to this once again. There is only one thing that you can show onto the UI with the help of Apex code. That is error, and that you can do by writing with the help of add error method. So if you're gonna write down this add error onto the field, then this error will be shown onto the field. But if you're gonna remove this field and you're gonna write down this method add error onto that record, it will show that error onto that particular record. Is it clear, everyone? Okay. So shall we execute this code? Sorry. Let me first execute this code, then you can do whatever you want. Let me make this code active. Is active. Save. So you do not have to do it like active, inactive, active, inactive. I'm doing it because I want to explain you different triggers, and I do not want any trigger to hamper the execution of another trigger. That's what it is. And this is a problem. And then at the end, I'm going to explain you how to resolve this particular problem, right? So trigger X. Oh yeah, okay. Now let's execute this one. So I'm going to go to go to an opportunity. Let's just sell bottles, and I'll try. So what is the amount over here? 1200, right? So let me edit this one. Let me change it to 15,000, right? And I'm going to save this one. Review the following fields. Amount cannot be changed. Amount cannot be changed. Let me change. Right? I have updated this one. So let's update this record once again. Reload. Oh, what happened? सेव नहीं किया सेव हो गया let me take another record. Is it active? I think it is. इसको तो अब वो हो गया सेव तो. Let me use another one. $18,000, huh? I'm gonna save this one. Apex trigger 5. Save. The trigger got inactive. Sorry. Nothing like this happens any of the time. But it is happening right now, so we'll debug it. I'm gonna change it for a while. 1211100, and then I'm gonna save it. Amount. Are you serious? Amount cannot be changed. So first of all, this is this clear? Now if I'll remove this from here, let's have the look at the trigger. Is it inactive? Test trigger 5. I think I've created another trigger which is making it inactive again and again, and it is getting executed. Oh, the problem is. So this program is opened into my developer console. And whenever I make a particular change, it again saves all the information into that trigger. So when I opened this Apex trigger 5, the value of is active was false. It was not checked. And when I save it again, it is saving the is active value again as false, even if I have modified it over here. So if I'm gonna close it for a while, and let's have a look at this one. It's again, see, false. Now if I'm gonna change it and save it, now there will be no problem. Why? Because it's not open over here. And now I can open it back. So this happened with me earlier as well. I'll just explain to you. Give me a moment. So now if I'm gonna save this record, are you serious? Amount is the error is not coming up over here. It is coming onto the over here, right? Onto the whole record. Why? Because in the code I've written the record dot add error. So it's your choice where you want to show that particular error. That's what I wanted to explain. Now let me explain it to you. Why this thing is happening. So there is this Apex trigger, right? When you open this Apex trigger, all of the information gets to the developer console, which includes the is active checkbox value as well. And with the code editor, what you're trying to do, you're making this field's value as check and save. So this check gets saved over here. But when you make any changes in the developer console and save this check again gets unchecked. So that's what the problem is happening, because in the developer console, the value is unchecked. So whenever you'll make any update onto the developer console and you'll try to save it, the things which are there in the code will definitely get updated. There's no doubt. But the is active checkbox value will also get updated. So in that case, what you'll have to do is, I mean, usually you do not have to do all of this, because you'll not make it active, inactive, active, inactive like I am doing over here. But what you have to do is, when you make it active, just make sure that you close that tab. So that means you're destroying what is there in the developer console, and you're trying to reopen the code in the developer console. So in that case, the value that you'll get into the checkbox after making it active is active, checked. And then if you'll try to update anything, it will get updated. Is it clear? And it happens vice versa as well. This Apex trigger is active. You have opened it up in the developer console, and the value is checked. And if the value is checked and you're making it uncheck over here, and then you're trying to edit anything over here, and then you're saving it back. Then this was inactive because I've made it inactive over here. But now again, it will become active. So you have to take care of this, right? Because we are juggling between two tools to modify a single piece of code. That's the reason it is happening. But the point of the matter right now is when and where we are going to use trigger.old and how it is beneficial for us. So we're going to use it in situations like this, where the amount should not be like this. And yeah, you must be thinking that prior value can do that. But I've just explained you a situation in which you can use trigger.old and trigger.new together. And that's how it goes. Is it clear, everyone? Everyone? So this dot add error method is called as trigger exception, right? Whenever you want to show a particular error into a record with the help of the code, you're gonna use the add error method, which we call as trigger exception. There are messages in the chat. Let me have a look. Neha, but we did not mark it inactive. Apex trigger 5. Yeah, Neha, you got the answer of this now. I mean, after I explained this one, this with the help of this diagram, is got it perfect. Disha, changes can be made when trigger is active or inactive. Changes, yes, you're right, Disha. You can modify the code of the trigger no matter whether it is active or whether it is inactive. It is not compulsory for you to inactive the trigger in order to make any changes in the code. Okay. You got it, Disha? Those will be reflected either way when activated. Yeah. Generally, what happens is whenever you create a trigger, it is by default active. So whatever you're saying is any which way gonna happen. But if you're gonna modify it and make it inactive, then you'll have to go again and make it active. Sorry? New create किया या open किया? So then depends on whether it was active earlier or whether it was inactive earlier. It was active earlier, so it will be active again. Because when we opened this one, it was active. When we opened it, this checkbox will be active. And whenever you'll try to save it back again, it will remain active. It happens when you put another tool and try to make it active and inactive with that tool, then the problem happens. So like, let's say, so it was active, right? You opened this one. So the value over here, which you got was active. And then you try to save it, it will remain active. When you opened this one, this was inactive. So the value that you'll get over here will be inactive. And then you'll try to save it, it will remain inactive. That's what it is. I hope it is clear to everyone. Yes or no? Sorry? Yeah. So, okay. This is called as writing the code, writing the Apex triggers in a bulky file format. What if you insert 5 records at a time? It should do the same thing for 5 records. What if you create or update 50 records at the same time? It should do the same thing for all of those 50 records instead of doing it for only one. Got it? Everyone clear with this? Cool. Let's move on to the next context variable. Trigger.new map. And by the way, this context variable, trigger context, which one? Trigger.old is only available in update and delete triggers. Write it down as a note. It is only available in update and delete triggers. Why? Because in insert it will there's no old value, right? Because in insert there's no old value. So that's the reason.